Heidi Rader here in the Alaska Garden. I'm with Cooperative Extension Service and Tanana Chiefs Conference. I'm here at the Georgeson Botanical Garden at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. And today I'm going to talk about how do you choose which varieties to grow in your garden or farm. So a lot of what has been done here at the Georgeson Botanical Garden is variety trials and testing how different varieties perform in our unique growing conditions. I talked before about cold season and warm season crops. So of course all warm season crops are going to be a little more challenging to grow than cold season crops here in Alaska because of our short growing seasons and cold growing conditions in some cases. We also have our long days, and some varieties do better in those conditions than others. But within each different type of warm season or cold season crop, there's quite a range in which varieties will grow best. And so that's what we're doing here in these plots, is testing several different varieties and seeing, which ones actually perform better. And you can evaluate them for a number of different traits. So maybe it's on taste, or how likely they are to bolt, or which ones are the most productive in our conditions. And so we're evaluating these crops for all those conditions: beets here, carrots over there, and then we've got turnips under row covers over here. And of course there's so many different varieties to test. Seed companies aren't necessarily testing how their seeds perform in Alaska, but you can gain some useful information just on the back of your seed packets. How many days do the varieties take to mature? Or are they cold hardy? Or perhaps they're heat tolerant. And that's why some of the seeds are bred for the lower 48 for actually heat tolerance rather than their tolerance for cold. But for a lot of varieties, we don't know how well they're going to perform in our conditions unless we test them here. At experiment stations, we do what's called randomized complete block design trials, where we're actually replicating the trials to account for some of the variability that you may see in soil conditions or pests and things. But another thing you can do, I've been working on a mobile app called the Grow and Tell mobile app, and it's available on iOS, Android, and as a website. And you can use the app as a garden journal. You can actually download all of your data at the end of the year on the website into an Excel sheet. And that's actually a great way to determine what will grow well in your particular garden, as well as what you like. So, of course, taste might be the most important characteristic for you, or maybe it's yield. Maybe you just want to grow as much food as you possibly can. So it's really important to come up with what you think is important and what grows well where you live. But the other great thing about the app is that you can share with your neighbors, other people in your town, what grew well where you live. And if they're just down the road or in your same community, it's probably going to grow pretty well where they live too. And that's really important because variety trials are expensive. There's not as much funding for variety trials as there used to be. And so we just don't have the capacity to test all of the varieties that are out there because breeders are constantly developing new seed varieties and we just can't keep up with testing them. But the other key part of that is that even if we test what will grow here in Fairbanks, that doesn't mean it's going to grow well in Anaktuvik Pass or Nome or, even Bethel. And so it's important for us to just have more information on what grows in these unique communities. So we need your help to do that. But we do have some more information. There have been a lot of trials conducted here at the Botanical Garden more so in the past, so you can find that at the website. Check in the captions for the link to that website where you can find past research. And we'll also be posting new research that we're doing this year. And Cooperative Extension Service also has publications on the recommended varieties for different regions here in Alaska. We've got one for interior Alaska, southeast, and south central. And so that includes vegetables as well as fruits and berries and even herbs and some other things. So check out those publications, and that's really just a brief synopsis of how you can decide which varieties are best to grow in your garden or farm. I'm Heidi Rader here in the Alaska Garden.